Alright guys, well here are the coins that I recently just put in my 2015 roundup of all the coins that I found. Now one is 1941, the one on the right, 1 cent. It basically states on the coin, Commissioners of Currency, Malaya. 1 cent in the middle and 1941 at the bottom. And you then on the back have, as I mentioned before in the other video, King, so it's basically George the 6th, King and Emperor, with a bust of the King's head. Now this is in poor condition. If my memory serves, I'm struggling to remember which one I found where. I know I found one on the Rising Sun site and another on another site. The other coin that you see here to the left states on there, Commissioners of Currency Malaya, 1 cent, 1945, with a 1 and a cent in the middle. This one is in a bit more poor condition. I haven't cleaned it at all, but underneath all this it says George the 6th, King Emperor, and has the bust there. Now, Clad Coin, one of my subscribers, was quite intrigued with these coins and found them to be really interesting, the square coins, and that in and of itself is quite interesting. But what I said to her is she I said if she wanted, I had some good examples of these exact coins. So what I'll do, I have, for the small one, I have this one is a 1940, but it's a ½ cent. So there again, it's not exactly the same size, it's actually smaller, but it is in much better condition. I'll just zoom in on that now. Commissioners of Currency Malaya, 1941, so it's a ½ cent. When you flip it over, it has a very clear thing, George the 6th, King and Emperor. Very nice. I can't zoom that any more than that. So that's an example of what this coin would have looked like. But I'll go one better than that. I'll take this off and I'll now replace it with the original 1 cent. And what I have is I have two. I'll put one each side. Might have to pull back a little bit. And look at that, such beautiful condition. So the ones either side, I have two 1939 Commissioners of Currency Malaya 1 cent, 1939. The one on the left is almost in mint condition. It has basically the shine from the mint. It's that good, and we'll just focus on that just for a minute. It's really in awesome condition. So that's what this one should look like from new. This has virtually been hardly ever used. It still has the shine on it. Very good condition. So Clad Coin, there's some good examples of this same coin. Now when I flip them over, you'll get a nice idea, especially this one on the left, of how this should look. So we'll just zoom in on this one on the left. Actually, I think I'll just put him in the middle. Let's come a bit closer to the camera. Put him off to the side. And let's have a good look. So that is exactly what it would have looked like. This is in very, very good condition. George the 6th, King and Emperor. Same for this one. But that one is in very good condition. So if I push that other one aside and I'll just keep this one and that one together, basically that's what you would see if it wasn't in this poor condition. Now I did find out something interesting. I'll take these off now. With this smaller one, it's dated 1945. Now what I found out was the 1 cent, both the 1943 and the 1945, were stockpiled in London waiting for the Japanese invasion to stop and the British government to return in Malaya. When Malaya was placed under British military administration in August 1945, they were soon put into circulation. So once that Japanese invasion stopped, these were put into circulation in Malaya. So I found this on another site. I'll have to go back and see exactly which one I found where. This may be the one that's tied to my Rising Sun site, which falls in line with when the soldier that returned, and I have his Rising Sun and stuff, he may have at the end of that brought it home. Don't quote me on that. Now I can go the extension one bit more. So with these coins is I looked amongst the coins from my episode 10 box of coins, and what I had in there was this one, which is from the same time period, and it actually eclipses, makes the camera play up. But this coin is a 5-cent coin from 1945. I dare say that would be silver, or at least 50%. That is in brilliant condition. 1945. Commissioners of Currency, Malaya, 1945, 5 cents. And on this side it has King and Emperor, so India, George the 6th. That, let me say, is in perfect order. So I'm happy to be able to present that as part of this, for this shows a coin. And in going through the coins again, I found that I had one that went one further, 1927. So this 1 cent, 2 cents, whatever, then you had 5 cent and 10 cent. This is 1927. Straight settlements, 1927, I believe. I know that might not be right. That one's actually straight settlements. That one might be worth a bit more. But what I did find, there's that one for you. Yeah, that actually has George the 5th. I could be mistaken. That might not be tied to Malaya. But what I can tell you is I then found further in the box three 1950 coin, Commissioners of Currency, Malaya, 1950. So 5 years after this coin was in use. I have 3 of this type, 10 cents from Malaya. King George the 6th is there. Then as time goes on, I've got others that move along, and these are the only Malay. I have more recent coins. This is 57. Malaya and British Borneo, 10 cent, 1957, and this has Queen Elizabeth II. Very nice. So really you're not getting shares of coin, you're getting shares of a few coins, but they're all tied to these square coins. So that I can only imagine the denominations below this were of this type, even as far back as around that time. Elizabeth II, and then another one I can go better than that is, well, this is 61. Malaya and the British Borneo, 20 cents, and that's in very nice condition. Queen Elizabeth II. So I hope that's been enjoyable for you. I know it's deviated a little bit from the square coins, but it is related information. and that brings new light the research that I did to the 1945 one. So they were something different for you there.